Looks like all the people they killed on The Sopranos. Wow. Anybody here from Jersey? This isn't geography class. Settle down. Okay, wow. When we agree to do these things, we have there are contracts and things that have to be signed. And I was glancing at mine yesterday, and it said something about the artist, which is moi, will be prepared with stories and anecdotes for the Q&A. And I really was last night. This morning I was signing pictures up there. I had to ask a couple of people how to spell my last name. So yeah, I'm doing what I can. Anyway, are you guys having fun? It's like instant yell and applause. Are you guys having fun? You know, I mean, if this was an entire room full of people on death row, and somebody got up and said, "You guys having fun?" So, well, the surprise is you're all being executed. That's true. On Supernatural, you never truly die. So I ran into both Eric Kripke and Jeremy Carver at Comic-Con last month, and they both said something really, really interesting. Do I know you? No, only Jeremy said that. Kripke said, "Stop phoning." I'm not on the show anymore. Stop phoning me. I can't get you back on. No. You guys are easy. So, we got this is a Q&A, right? Anybody got any Q's? Hi.
Hi. I know we're not supposed to say how much we love you, but I really always...
No, say it.
You were the heart of the show. You were the only one with a solid house that they always came back to. And that's why I'm really excited to meet you the most.
No, but what about Antrim Park? You said up there. Forget how I'm not going to...
My actual question was,
yeah.
I read all your movie reviews and I watch Beaver's Lodge. If you could write yourself into any movie or TV show, which would it be and who would you play?
Showgirls. I can dance. Prove it! Anybody speak Spanish? El Chanzo Gordo. If I could write myself into any movie. Showgirl sounds... What must it have been like on that set? Man, I mean, for the crew. Nobody works as hard as a film and television crew. I mean, it's incredibly long hours, and nobody ever gets to sit down. And if you're lucky, you get to squat on your haunches for lunch for half an hour. And those guys work really, really, really hard. But I think on that movie it would have been fine. Yeah. I don't know, it'd be pretty cool to say, I'm Batman. No, really, Batman has a beard. I don't know. Silly answer. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, it's working fine. It's working good. Settle down. You just talk into it. If you hit it, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so last year we had Steve.
What?
Working out? Yeah. So last year we had Steve
What?
and I kind of... You're being like my dad right now.
You're too young for me to be anything else.
So I asked him kind of a similar question last year, and since Bobby and Rufus are kind of close, did you ever imagine any crazy shenanigans they got into?
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't say bromance. Did I ever imagine crazy shenanigans?
Did you ever think of oh, Bobby Rufus must have done this, or?
You realize that I don't write this stuff.
Yeah, just did you ever
Although Stephen writes some of his stuff on the spot. Never know what that man's going to say. It might even be one of the lines. If you're lucky. Did I ever imagine shenanigans in a nice way, I presume?
Yeah, any hunting trips or any stupid things they did? Because Steven said that Rufus lost the 3 toes in Tijuana with a female demon.
He wasn't talking about Rufus. That was a little bit of autobiography on Stephen's part. I was watching the Blues Brothers the other day.
Yeah.
For the first time. And about halfway through I went, I know that cop. It was Stephen. Back when he was human age. He's like 93 or something. I don't know. But no, I have never imagined anything with Bobby and Rufus. I just try not to think about Rufus. So far it's working unless somebody brings it up.
Sorry.
It's okay. I wish I had a better shenanigan for you, but there should be some outtakes sometimes of Rufus lines that aren't in the script. Maybe I told us. This was one of our favorite things on the entire run of the series. when Bobby stabbed Rufus and demon or worm ear Bobby. I wasn't myself that day. When Bobby killed Rufus, we were doing the take where Rufus falls down and dies, and we heard him say to the sound guy, "Make sure your mic is close when I fall." And we're all like, "He doesn't have any lines there." And then we do the scene, and he falls down, and as he's going down, he goes, "Oh, Bobby, Bobby." This is way worse than Omaha. took him about that long to say it, too. And so the director goes up and goes, Stephen, okay, that was great, and that was terrific. We're going to do one more, and you're already dead. Like, oh, man. So, that's not a shenanigan, but that's Rufus. I mean, that's Stephen.
Hi, Jim. I just want to say I think you look great. Good working out.
Right, honorary chest. Stole that line from Robert Beaver.
No, that's not my question.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Actually, I was interested about...
You're young for failing eyesight.
I'm actually interested about the writing part of the show, and I was wondering, with the large staff of writers that you have on the show and the turnover, has there ever been kind of a discrepancy that's come up in the script where either you or the directors kind of caught it and said, this is completely out of character, or this is totally wrong? And in addition, the writers that write that script, are they on set during the filming?
To answer the second question first, the writers are almost never on set. Once in a blue moon, one of them will come up, but they work in Los Angeles, and we work in, the guys who are still on the show work, they work in Vancouver. Every once in a while a writer will come up, but not very often, so we don't see them much. But they have telephones, so we will call up sometimes and say, okay, you know, the scene in Bobby's ballet class, we're not sure that really fits quite in with the character we've already previously established. And, I can't really remember anything much like that. There might be something, but nothing jumps out in my memory. I mean, the fact is that we're in pretty constant touch with the gang in LA who are doing the writing. Although, you know, sometimes I go to like the premiere party or something, and people come up and say, "Hi, Jim. I'm one of the writers on the show." I'll be like, "Oh, really? Okay." Because I mean, I don't always even get to know who they are. Sometimes they're just names on the script, but that's because I don't hang out in their office and they don't hang out in mine. So, was there an answer in there somewhere?
Yes.
Thanks. Hi. I don't know. Do you really want to know? Yeah. Well, I could use a little morphine.
I was wondering, this is an unrelated question, what's your favorite Pokemon?
What's my favorite Pokemon? Do you have any idea how old I am? I think I've got kids who were born before Pokemon. To give you a serious answer, I haven't got a clue. I know it's some sort of Japanese cartoon thing, but that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. As to favorites, what's your favorite? Well, of course. Well, is it a TV show? It's a TV show.
It used to be.
And a comic. Video game.
And a card game.
And a comic.
Just after my time.
And a spaghetti sauce. So, okay, now pretend I'm not this like incredibly beloved actor on this incredibly beloved TV show. I'm just some guy you kind of halfway know works in the stockroom at work. And do these pants look stupid? Yes? I bought a bunch of jeans in Vancouver last year, and no, I bought like one pair, and I really, really liked it. And then I got back to the States and found out that Levi's makes different jeans in different countries. And they don't make 527s or whatever it was that I bought in Vancouver. And so I was at the Levi's store, and I said, I want some 527s or whatever the number was, and he said, oh, you can't get those here. I said, well, what's the closest you got? And he said, oh, well, our equivalent number in the US is 519 or something. I said, well, give me some of those. They gave me some of these, and they feel like pajamas. I feel like I'm walking around and they're not moving. Okay, if they're not horrible. Anyway, wasted another 4 minutes. Hi.
Hi, Jim. And no, my eyesight is fine, and yes, you are very handsome.
Thanks, sis.
But I wanted to ask a simple question for you. Inside the Actors Studio has a lot of very good questions. I wanted to ask one of them,
Bernard Pivot.
Yeah. What is your favorite cuss word?
I knew that's what you were going to say. Oh, man. This is going to... No, that's Bobby's. Oh, man. No, this is going to be on YouTube. My kid's going to see it. Let's see. I'm not going to say favorite, but the thing that pops out when I'm walking around the house and there's nobody else at home and something happens that I don't like, it's got 12 letters. Doesn't relate directly to anybody's mom. It's just a phrase that I don't use on YouTube. So is that close enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay. That is so weird. I was walking around the house yesterday and nobody was there and something didn't work right, and I said this thing, and then I went, what would I do if I was on inside the Actors Studio? I'd probably have to tell them that, wouldn't I? And then here I am this morning, and wow. Okay. Hi.
Hi. Last year at the convention, Jared and Misha were talking about who from the Jersey Shore they would like to bring onto the show and how they would like to kill them. Is there anyone that you would like to bring on the show, or would have liked to bring on the show, and how you would kill them?
From Jersey Shore?
Yes.
Jersey Shore falls into exactly the same category as Pokemon. I have heard that such a beast exists, but I know not thereof. There's something called a Snooki,
And a situation.
And, yeah, okay. The situation. How about the bonehead? It was bad enough with The Rock. I mean, I guess if you're a wrestler or something, you could be The Rock. The situation. You couldn't come up with something better than that? I know nothing about, there may be some really cool reason he calls himself that.
No.
But by calling himself that, he forfeits all the coolness that he might have. He's probably here, right? Hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm feeling really short right now. Thanks for coming. I was curious, change up the mood a little, how your time on Supernatural has either changed or impacted you on a more personal level?
Oh, how has being on Supernatural? Well, it's allowed me to eat fairly well for some time now, and which might be why I'm losing weight. Oh, you guys are real easy. Impacted me personally. The thing that I would have to mainly say is that I have a whole bunch of new people in my life whom I love. The cast and crew, and I mean, really, the fact is, when I contemplate the possibility of being done with the show, whenever that is, whether it's now or in years to come, or if I'm already in that place. Yeah, I like having a job, I like working, I like making a living. But the idea of not working with those people again really, really bothers me. And because everything you see on a gag reels, I bet you get a sense of the guys behind the camera, and not just those of us in front of the camera. The guys behind the camera sometimes show up, and you can hear them laughing behind the camera, and it's exactly what that sounds like. Except that, I mean, we all hug each other every time we haven't seen each other for a couple of days. It's a great bunch of people, and that's probably the biggest thing. The other, I mean, going along with that is the fact that this is, gosh, I don't know, my 9th TV series that I've had a regular or recurring role on, and but it's only the first one where there was stuff like this, where I got to frequently and consistently meet the people who watch the show and love it. And it's just been a miracle in my life. It's been an amazing thing I'm standing on a stage with a whole bunch of people looking at me, and nobody's clawing to get out of the room. And, when you face it, when you got a potato face like mine, that's pretty fascinating. I'm not, oh, stop. I think that would be it. I've got 7 seasons now of working with and being associated with and hanging out with amazing people, and I wouldn't have had that on some other show. So.
It's rarity.
Good. Stand up. I'm sorry.
This is not where is your moose, I am where is your mouse.
Ah.
But my question is, as we saw in season
all you see?
We can crawl into a lot of useful places.
My best friend is 6'9", so he says that to me a lot.
Poor baby. My question is, as we saw in season 7, Bobby got a little action this time, and he got to share a lovely little scene with our dearly beloved Sheriff Jody Mills. I was wondering what
You're dearly beloved.
My question was, what was your reaction when you saw that in the script?
Oh my God.
Yes! That was my reaction too.
Yeah, but I got to do it.
Oh, the jokes.
Over and over and over. Because right as the kiss would end, I would flub something. And pretty soon, Kim was saying, I'm going to have to call my husband if you don't get the lines right.
Very nice enough. Thank you.
You're welcome. However, I would not categorize that exactly as getting some action. That was sort of like driving to the stadium before the ball game. Yeah, hi.
Hi. I was wondering if any of your own personal characteristics or personality has leaked into Bobby's character at all, or has.
Yes, can't you tell? Yeah, I think probably to a certain extent, because when you're on a show for any length of time, the writers, they see what you're doing with the character, and if there's something they like, they will start to kind of augment that. And every show I've been on for any length of time has started to, the characters started to resemble me a little bit more. I'm not brave and particularly forthright like Bobby, and I'm not near the grouch he is. But just ways of saying things will catch a writer's ear or something, and they'll play that up the next time. It's all subtle stuff. I don't. Yeah, I sense it. I couldn't really tell you a specific example, but I sense that the character changed the longer I played it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
I'm also a fan of your movie reviews on Facebook, and I love the gunfighter stare you give the movie at the beginning of Beaver's Lodge every week.
I'm like, that's the tape they used? Oh.
So my question is, I know your favorite movie is The Searchers, but if there was one movie that you think most people haven't seen that you would recommend to everybody, what it would be?
Besides that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. One movie, God, there's zillions of them. Name them all? Yeah. Okay, the A's. Wow. I'll pull one out of the hat. Seven Samurai. I mean, I imagine probably a lot of people have seen it because there was like this clapping stuff that just happened. Yeah. The remake. I have nothing against remakes, per se. After all, the classic Maltese Falcon was the third one. No, I'm talking about Kurosawa's 1954 Seven Samurai. Sure. Hi.
Hi. Other than Bobby, who else would you like to play?
Is that an awe for? Oh. What I miss? Besides everything. You're adorable. Is there a character besides Bobby I would like to play? Well, I mean, probably. It's most of the... Oh, you mean on the show? Oh, on the show.
Rufus.
Hi.
The Impala.
Listen, wait, where's Omaha? Growly. I could probably do a better fake British accent. Oh, you don't need to tell him. YouTube, remember?
Let's hear it.
You already heard me. What was the episode where Weekend in, yeah, it was Weekend in Bobby's. Yeah. We saved the falling world. Don't get me into a contest with Mark on bad accents. So, yeah, that's probably that. Thank you, darling. Hi. Whoa. Shoes are new, too.
First of all, you kind of have an unfair height advantage because you're on a stage. So I suppose we're doing the best we can.
You were saying? I've said this a lot of times, but one of the things I really kind of love when I come to conventions is people coming up to me and saying, "You're not short." What I like even better is, "You're not fat." When I come to conventions, I don't have to wear the poofy vest and the 3 layers of shirts and...
And you're not next to Jared.
And I'm not next to... So, yeah.
Okay, so in this show you play like their surrogate father, and after like
Yeah, I know.
John died, you got like really
7
into
years,
that.
man.
So I was wondering, what's your opinion on John Winchester as their father? Because I know he gets a really bad rap because he was such a great father figure. So people like hate him. What do you think about John Winchester?
I don't know, I should watch the show. Well, I mean, from Bobby's perspective or mine? Well, I think Bobby thinks that that John could have done a lot better job than he did, and that yeah. I mean, we all saw in Death's Door there was a lot of allusion to the differences in raising boys between John and Bobby. So yeah, I think Bobby thinks that there's a more rounded way look out for his charges. As for me, I don't know. I just met Jeffrey Dean Morgan for the first time in my life last month. And he's kind of a great guy. But I'd never met him before.
Seriously?
Seriously. Wow. Seriously, we never had any scenes together. And even when he was a ghost and, what was it, All Hell Breaks Loose? Yeah. He was, none of us were there the day he was. It was all green screen. Yeah, so I'd never met him. And, as far as his character goes, I don't know. I just show up and say the lines. Hi.
Hi. Towards the end of Bobby's run as a living character, there were...
Gently put. Better before you croaked.
There was suddenly a lot of character arc and feelings that no one really knew how to deal with when all this stuff was going on while he was in the coma. How did he come out of that alive and perfectly fine? Because I know there was a very small chance that he would. How do you think that would have changed any character dynamic or how he would have reacted to things?
I just show up and say the lines. I don't know. I mean, the truth is, from the very beginning, the whole concept was that he would die. And so, no, I mean, they didn't say, oh, Bobby gets shot in the head and then he goes into a coma and goes inside his head and figures all this stuff out. And should he come out of it or should he die? Or no, I mean, it was, they knew the ending and they wrote toward that ending. So in terms of, on the production end of things, everybody knew that he wasn't coming out of the coma. So I don't know if they gave much thought to what would happen if he did. And I sure haven't given much thought, obviously. Well, I mean, the fact is, when Bobby came back as a ghost, a lot of probably what would have happened kind of came into play because a lot of the emotions were still there, even if Bobby was less substantial than usual. I'm not exactly sure how to answer that, but there was never any time that I wondered, okay, how will I play it or what will happen if he comes out of this, because I knew he wasn't going to. So.
Okay.
Oh, okay, thanks. Another satisfied customer. Hi.
Hey, Idjit.
I beg your damn pardon.
Hello.
Hi.
I was just wondering
Something I can do for you?
I was wondering what it was like.
Shorty?
I'm proud. I was just wondering
Good things come in small packages.
Wearing heels.
Very small packages.
Ask a question now?
I don't know. Can you?
I was just wondering what it was like to film Weekend at Bobby's, since it was an episode themed around your character. It also happens to be one of my favorite episodes of Supernatural. So.
Well, up until just now. Yeah, she's rethinking that. I love Bobby stuff. It was a lot of fun to shoot that. It was exhausting because probably said this a few times too. In the acting world, I don't think there's anything harder than carrying an hour drama. And being the lead or one of the two leads on an hour drama is schedule-wise excruciating because you get very, very little rest. And it's really long days, and nobody can do much of anything without you there. So I don't have to worry about that most of the time. But on Weekend at Bobby's and on Death's Door, I found out what it was like to be there every day from the first thing in the morning till 14, 15 hours later. And oh, that's a 5. Okay. Some sort of Miss America thing. Anyway, it was really, really tiring, especially because, you know, I had to fight that Japanese tooth monster coming out of the ceiling at my next door neighbors and, you know, throwing a wood chipper and all that stuff. And that was a long day. Well, if you've ever killed a Japanese demon, you know. So, yeah, but it was great fun. I mean, come on, you know, all of a sudden you're doing an episode and it's about you. If you got an ego the size of mine, that is so cool. That is so cool. And it was a lot of fun because it was also Jensen's first time directing. And it was, you know, it was cool to show the young fellow the ropes. Yeah, like he needed my help. So, that's it. I should better hurry here. There's only 30 of you in 5 minutes. Hi.
Hi. If you could have Bobby come back from the dead in any way, what
character
would you have bring him back and how would they do it?
Any way they want to. Well, you know, I mean, Crowley's still there, Cass is somewhere. I'm figuring there's got to be a loophole somewhere. So, but I don't care. Just, you know, I wouldn't want to. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't want to come back as blank, 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 because then they may say, oh, he doesn't want to come back. No, I'm given my druthers, I'd rather come back to regular old life and be regular old Bobby, maybe with a few new twists in his head, but, you know, a guy, not a ghost or, you know, some Casper thing. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hi. Those are pretty socks. So glad I didn't wear mine. Absolutely. What's your name? Aaron? Aaron. You're very pretty, Aaron. How old are you? You're 10? So's my little girl. Oh. I can say almost anything. I like kitty cats. You want to measure my wrist? Here. Whoa. You're welcome, Aaron. Thank you. Yeah. I like little girls. tree. I have a little girl. That's what I was talking about. They're cute, they're adorable, they're sweet, and then they turn 12. Hi.
Hey Jim, how you doing? I just want to say, first of all, I'm sure I speak to everybody, but thank you for everything you've done for the show. It's not the same without you.
You haven't really seen it without me.
We don't want to see without you. Jim, I'm sorry, I wanted to ask you, when you first started auditioning for Supernatural, did you always have the role of Bobby Singer in mind, or did you want to do somebody else, and how did it come about?
Oh my gosh, the actors don't get those kind of choices unless they're like Brad Pitt. Which, I know there's a resemblance, but it's not really, career-wise, it's not the same. When you audition, it's almost 100% of the time something that they have told you what you're going to audition for. And you may not have any awareness of what else is in the script and what else might be available. So yeah, I just, they call me in and said, you're reading for this character named Bobby Singer. And then I read for it, but then I found out that I didn't have to read for it because Bob Singer, the real one, just gave me the part without ever seeing my audition. So, because we go back a long way. So, yeah. So, no, there was no choice. There was no, oh, I'd like to play this part instead. No, I didn't even know about the show. I had heard of it, but I had never seen it, didn't know. I knew there were two guys in it. That was pretty much it. And that's still pretty much all I know about it. Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Hi.
I wanted to start by saying
You're going to have to drag me out of here. Which now they will do.
I wanted to start by saying that I appreciate that you are one of the people that actually responds to people on Twitter. I know some people can't, but I appreciate that you often do respond to things that fans say. You have little conversations on Twitter.
Well,
I like that.
Thank you. There's like 170,000 people following me now, which is like the weirdest thing. Because I see them wherever I go. But I can't possibly respond to everybody who tweets me, but I'm very, very well aware, and I try to read everything. It's hard to read everything, but...
well, I appreciate that you do try. I actually have gotten
No, I was just talking about the dyslexia. That's a joke.
You were just looking for another awe.
On top of all his other handicaps, he's got dyslexia too.
My question was slightly off topic. I was wondering if you had any funny anecdotes or stories or anything from working on one of my other favorite shows, Psych.
Psych. Psych was a lot of fun because those of you who follow Psych and also followed Deadwood know that Timothy Amundsen and I were married to the same woman on Deadwood. Not at the same time. And so it was a lot of fun to. I didn't hang out with him much when we were doing Deadwood because he wasn't there very long. He only did, I think, the first 4 episodes. But our kids go to school together, and we actually became very good friends when we hanging out after we drop our kids off and stuff. And so it was fun. I worked my way through college doing stunts in a cowboy amusement park, which was exactly what I played on Psych. And aside from the fact that the ground has gotten harder in 10 years, it was really fun to go back and revisit that. And it was really fun to have the stunt coordinator go, "Oh, you already know how to take a fall." Yeah, because I did it for 5 years, trying to get out of my senior year of college. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I loved Tim, so it was great fun working with him. I didn't know much of anybody else. I had worked with James Brolin once before, and he's a great guy. Yeah, you know, it was fun. It was fun. You know, it's the same town where... Yeah, you guys know. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, what episode of Supernatural did you have the most fun shooting and why?
The most fun would have to be Weekend at Bobby's.
Yeah.
That was just a blast. Had a lot of fun doing Curious Case of Dean Winchester with our late lamented Chad Everett, who was so much fun. But I think Weekend at Bobby's, it was exhausting, but it was a lot of fun. Because slash fiction, I got to kiss Jody Mills, so. Wore you out, did I? Okay, I guess I'm getting a hook here. So, for all of you who have followed this show for the 7 seasons it's been on, and have made my life such a blessing, thank you very much. And for the rest of you clowns, thanks guys, we'll see you more.